Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and welcome back to another battle in Total War Thrones of Britannia. In today's battle, we have the mighty Kingdom of Wessex facing off against the Kingdom of Gwined and an army of Norman mercenaries. This is a unique engagement because it encompasses battles on both land and sea. So with that in mind, we will be taking a look at the land battle first, and then follow it up with the naval engagement. And then finally, we will have the victors of the naval battle landing to challenge the remainder of the land forces in an epic 3-part battle. So I hope you all enjoy. Let's take a quick look at the army comps before we get the battle started. We'll begin the army comps by taking a look at the Kingdom of Wessex, and we'll focus on the land army first, commanded by myself. In the front lines, I've got 4 units of the Earl's Spearmen. They're a mid-range spear infantry unit, so hopefully they will have some holding power in the front lines. Right behind that, I've got 4 units of the Militia Feared Archers, which are a Tier 3 bow infantry unit, so hopefully they will be able to pepper down the enemy and weaken them by the time they do get to my battle line. And the rest of my forces are evenly split on the flanks. I've got 4 units of the Earl's Thanes, 2 on either flank of the Spearmen to protect the Spear's flanks when they are engaged in melee. And then I've got my best troops hidden in 2 stands of trees on the flanks. I've got 1 unit of Royal Huscarls on either flank. And then I actually went pretty heavy on the cavalry. I've got 4 units of mailed horsemen, 2 on either flank, and hidden in the trees as well. And far back behind the lines, I've got my royal bodyguard. So he's going to survey the battlefield, and he will deploy himself to which flank is needing it the most. And then the final piece of the puzzle, my final unit on the battlefield, and you can see it's way far away from my battle line, is the catapult. And you will see why it is far away from my battle line once the battle does begin. And now we'll take a look at the naval reinforcements of Wessex, commanded by Azarian Fox, and you can see that he has a pretty sizable force on the battlefield. So let's take a look at what he has brought. He's got 2 identical wings, just like I did in my formation, and they consist of 2 units of Militia Feared Archers and 1 unit of Royal Huscarls. But he actually has 3 Huscarls. He's got 1 on either flank and then 1 in the dead center of his formation. For his front line, it's pretty solid. He's got 3 units of the Thanes, 4 units of the Mailed Thanes, which is a Tier 3 infantry unit, and then he also has some ships in reserve. He's got 4 units of the Royal Thanes, and then he has his general, the Royal Companions, right at the back of the formation. So that rounds out the forces of Wessex, so let's go ahead and take a look at who they will be facing. The naval prowess of Wessex will be challenged today by the Kingdom of Gwynedd, commanded by the Red Celt, and look at this large and glorious Welsh fleet on the battlefield. He has a lot of really good units, Tier 3 units in fact. So let's start on this side and see what he has brought to the battlefield. He has 6 units of the Valley Mailed Spearmen. He has 3 of these on either flank. And then the center of his line consists entirely of 6 units of Welsh Mailed Axemen. Again, Tier 3 units. He has 4 ranged units, Tier 3 Longbowmen, so 2 on either flank, because he's got like a second line going here. And in the center of those Longbowmen, he has 2 units of the Welsh Mailed Swordsmen. Again, Tier 3 units. And then finally, he has 1 unit of the Tielu Spear Guard, and his general is the Tielu Spear Guard as well. And the Tielu Spear Guard is probably the best spear infantry unit in Thrones of Britannia, and he has 2 of them. And not just that, this one is his general's bodyguard, and take a look at the man count in this enormous bodyguard. 300 plus warriors in this Welsh bodyguard. In fact, it's so big that it requires 2 ships just to cart around all of those men. Absolutely insane. So the entirety of the Welsh army consists of Tier 3 troops, so it is a quality army for sure. But let's take a look at what the Welsh have brought as their land army. Supporting the Kingdom of Gwynedd from land, we have the dreaded Normans, commanded by Gandalf, and we have some pretty powerful infantry units being fielded by the Norman army. Let's take a look at what Gandalf has brought to the battlefield. Right in the front lines, he has 4 units of the Flemish crossbowmen, and in the dead center of his formation, he has 2 units of the Norman mailed spearmen, but they are flanked by 6 units of the Norman foot soldiers. He has 3 of these very powerful infantry units on either flank. He also has a rear guard as well, consisting of some cheaper units. He's got some Norman axemen and some of the Norman swordsmen, 2 units of them. He has a catapult, and on the flanks he has 2 units of the Norman knights, and on the other flank he has 1 unit of Norman knights, and then the Norman general himself within view of the great Welsh fleet. So hopefully the Normans will be able to help the Welsh gain victory over the Kingdom of Wessex. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see we have the navies from Wessex and Gwyned moving forwards to engage each other on the open waters. But don't worry yourself about the naval battle for now, we'll get to it after we cover the land battle. So the reason I'm deploying my 2 units of mailed horsemen from the trees to protect my catapult, and in fact I'm also deploying most of my army over to the right, is because I placed my catapult here in the deployment phase with a unit of Cyril Spearmen. I believe this is a Cyril Spearmen, but I placed them over here because in Thrones of Britannia, the catapults actually do a lot of damage to enemy ships. So I thought if I could deploy the catapult close enough, I would be able to do a lot of damage to the Gwyned navy before they engaged Azrian Fox's Wessex navy, and therefore help him out. But unfortunately, Red Celt was wise to that trick, and he deployed his navy far back enough that I couldn't reach them. So my second plan is to actually go after the Norman Knights. The Norman Knights are a tier 3 cavalry unit. They're very, very powerful, and in a 1v1 fight, they could absolutely destroy my Wessex mailed knights. So with that in mind, you can see I'm getting some really solid hits there on his cavalry. But he's seen that I brought my 2 units of cavalry over to this right flank, so he has brought an extra unit of his cavalry over here as well. But if you take a look at this, he only has 1 unit of Norman Knights over on this flank, and that is a battle that I can definitely win. You can see that I've got my unit of Royal Huscarls moving forwards, and I've got my 2 units of Mailed Knights moving forwards from the trees. So the trap has been sprung. Will he notice it in time and disengage his cavalry from the engagement, or will I be able to catch him before he escapes? We do have the main infantry engagement just about to start. It was a very, very short skirmish phase. But let's take a look at this charge first. Yes, there we go. So it looks like Gandalf, he did notice at the very last minute. But I'm going to move this unit of Mailed Knights around the flank and then charge into the side of the Norman cavalry, and we should be able to win that engagement without a problem. So yeah, the skirmish phase is very, very short. You can see I'm just now bringing my militia-feared archers behind the shield castle of the Cyril Spearmen. Let's actually slow this down so we can see the really epic charge of the heavily armored Norman infantry. And there we go. You can see I'm actually getting a counter charge with my Earl Staines as he moves in to the main battle line. And there we go. So the heavily armored Norman Knights have clashed with my shield castle. Hopefully they will be able to hold for the time being and allow my heavily armored units on the flanks to do some work. I've got my Huscarls moving out of the trees as we speak, but Gandalf over here, I noticed that I left, well, I actually didn't notice this during the battle, but I noticed it now, where I had a little hole in between my Earl Spearmen and my Earl Staines, and he's actually snuck a full unit of Norman foot soldiers through this little hole in my battle line, and now he's effectively cut off these 2 units of Earl Staines. They're already fighting 2 units of Norman foot soldiers in melee, and now I'm in danger of actually losing 2 full units to a complete encirclement. This is really, really bad for me. But on the other hand, as you can see from the notification, I was able to catch the Norman general in melee with my mailed horsemen. and slaughter him. So that is really good. The Norman general has been killed. And it's a pretty intense cavalry engagement over on this flank, because there were 3 units of Norman horsemen versus my 2, and you can see that that one has already broken, and this one is just holding strong. Looks like he is disengaging this unit of Norman knights, though, because he does see that my 2 units of mailed horsemen are free, and they are going to be charging into his units. He's also disengaged some of his Norman swordsmen here. Looks like they are going to charge in. Oh no, they actually balked just at the last minute. Interesting. So they are going to pick a different target, but good for me that this unit of Norman soldiers, or Norman foot soldiers, has faced the other way, so it allows my militia-feared archers to get some really solid volleys into their back. And I do have my unit of Royal Huscarls over here as well behind enemy lines. So if we actually zoom out and take a look at the battle as a whole, you can see that I am really not doing well on the right flank here, but on the left flank I'm actually doing very well. So it's actually quite even still on the land battle. I've actually had to push my general in here to try and just maintain order. Thankfully, this unit of Norman swordsmen that was part of the flank, it was only a tier 1 infantry unit, so it is starting to waver. My general is carving them to pieces. However, here, this poor unit of Earl Staines is fighting back-to-back, sandwiched between 2 of the OP Norman foot soldiers. Oh, hold, brave men of Wessex, hold! Yes, come on! The general is near. You will not falter. Now, the good thing about this unit that is flanking my Earl Staines is that all of my archers are able to get some really good volleys on those Norman foot soldiers. But there we go. He has shattered that unit, and now 2 of the Norman foot soldiers are free to move wherever. And now my general actually stands, well, he is in danger of being encircled once again. So Gandalf is putting all of his cards on this right flank. I've got a unit of cavalry over here. Let's go ahead and zoom into their perspective. So they see what's going on. The battle lines have kind of split, and the general is fighting on the left-hand side. You can see that they do have some of their cavalry comrades that have charged into the Norman foot soldiers. And here we go. Nice charges there, trying to save the general. A couple of units actually flying across the screen there. But yes, over here we have just annihilated the Normans, and over here this unit of Norman foot soldiers is surrounded by 2 units of Earl Staines, and I believe that my Royal Huscarls are just about to clash with the Norman. Are they going after the Norman mailed spearmen, or are they coming back over here? Not 100% sure where their target is, but they're probably coming over down here to try and clean all this up. And it looks like the Norman mailed spearmen have broken anyways. Let's go ahead and put this to slow motion here and just watch some of these giant axe infantry units take on the Norman spears. See if we can get a couple of kill animations going as well. Come on, Huscarls. We need to get this right flank under control. There we go. You can see more axe infantry coming this way. The whole might of the Norman army, or sorry, the whole might of the English army, or the Wessex army, coming down to attack. Let's go ahead and put it back onto play. And I believe that that is one of the last units still alive. We've got the Norman mailed swordsmen there. And we do have some Norman foot soldiers over here, but I think that this is finally stabilized. And we have the last remnants of the Normans being charged in the back by my mailed horsemen. Look at this one guy, he's just in utter fear. He doesn't know what to do. Oh, and he was killed. There we go. But thus ends the land engagement. And look at the cheers from the army of Wessex. Now, as the land battle was going on, we have a whole separate theater of battle on the water. We have the navies here from Wessex and Gwyned moving forwards to engage on the open water. And it looks like the forces from Wessex are a little bit more hesitant, but the Red Celt, a seafaring warrior himself with his Welsh soldiers, are not slowing down. You can see he's got them actually in a perfect line here, ready for some boarding. And Azer, it looks like he is going to just push up the center of his ships first and keep his archer ships more on the wings, going to skirmish them from a distance. But let's go ahead and see if we have some boarding here. Gonna zoom in as the ships collide with each other. There we go. We've got some fire ammunition being volleyed onto the ships of Wessex. And there we go. Oh, some more fire arrows coming down on the troops from Wessex here. I believe that these are some mailed Thanes. Yes, they are. So a tier 3 infantry unit. Very solid indeed. However, we've got soldiers from Gwyned coming from 2 separate ships to board this one Royal Thane ship. Over here looks like a little more balanced as we have 1v1 here. And Azer and Foxy notices that. It looks like he is going to push some of his heavy units, the Royal Huscarls, over here to aid in the center fight as the Welsh are just overwhelming the English on this ship. Whoa, and they are being slaughtered there. Let's quickly just zoom out to see what else is going on the battlefield. And, yeah, very even so far as it looks, but not so much in the center for Wessex. You can see that a couple of their ships are not faring very well. However, we do have Azrian pushing forwards his general here into the center, hoping to turn the tide. Now, it looks like the Red Celt does have a few of his Tielu Spear Guard here in reserve. We've also got some Welsh mailed swordsmen moving around the flank, I think, going after those archers. I believe that Azrian Fox has noticed that, though. Let's go ahead and zoom in. See some of these close-up and personal shots here from the from the Wessex bowmen. Actually getting some really good shots into the side of the spear warriors here. And what an awesome shot there, actually. If we zoom down, you can see just how many ships have pretty much created a raft, and it's almost like a land battle across all of these ships. But we do have some fires starting to sprout up as well. And it looks like that is one of the Wessex ships that's actually on fire. We do have the longbowmen from the Kingdom of Gwyned in perfect positions. And yeah, now you can see that the balance of power is not looking too good for Wessex. Most of the engagement he is losing, bar this one here in the center. This one is pretty even, and he is winning this one here, the Royal Thanes slaughtering the Valley Mailed Spearmen. But over here it's 3 versus 2. Azrian is desperately trying to use his archers to even that fight out, but I think the damage has already been done. And yes, it looks like the troops from Gwyned are actually have boarded back up on their ships, and they are steaming towards the archer ships from the Kingdom of Wessex. And yeah, Azrian going to try and save his archers for later in the battle. But what a large naval engagement is going on here. Very, very cool. It looks like some of the forces from Gwyned have broken on this side. Have they... The Royal Huscarls have come out on top here? Looks like... it's hard to say, actually, what's going on there. But yeah, the Royal Thanes here have completely shattered. And that has opened up this very healthy unit of Valley Mailed Spearmen to be able to collapse in on the flank. Where is the general in this? Oh, it looks like we've got a general v general battle over here. Let's take a look at this. So we got the Tielu Spear Guard here and the Foot Companions. Are these Foot Companions? Royal Companions from Wessex. But the Tielu Spear Guard is a crazy good unit. And I believe it does outnumber the Royal Companions 2-1. You can see they're a unit of 190, and these ones are a unit of 304. However, they are really getting cut down. 150 of them have been killed already. But Azrian's general is definitely not faring very well in this case. The Tielu Spear Guard, I think, are still too numerous. Oh, hold, brave Wessex warriors, hold. Let's zoom out and see what else is going on. We do actually have a ship that's on fire over here. I believe, oh, that's one of the Royal Thane units there. We got the Valley Mailed Spearmen that are shattered. We got the Royal Huscarls that have shattered over here. I think that is thanks to the 2 units of Longbowmen here. And oh no! Looks like the Royal Companion ship is set alight. That is really terrible for the Navy of Wessex. Oh, and Adrian's general going to have to jump into the water. And unfortunately, for those of you that aren't aware, in this time period of total war, nobody knew how to swim whatsoever, so everybody is going to drown. But how many of those Teal Spear Guard are left for his general? Only 133, so Adrian has done a really good job weakening them, but I'm seeing a lot of ships from Wessex left and not a lot of ships from... Or sorry, a lot of ships from Gwynedd left and not a lot of ships from Wessex. What do we got over here? Some Welsh-mailed spearmen. Oh, we do have some pockets of fighting here, but I think it's mostly down to the archers of Wessex. And those archer ships are fast, but the longbowmen will have the better range, so they will be able to inevitably win in any kind of skirmish battle. It's not looking good for Wessex. Yeah, we've got the Welsh-mailed spearmen here, slaughtering some of the cheaper units. I think this is just a Thane unit here. Yes, it is. Tier 1 infantry. Also got some more axemen that could be landing from the other flank. And I believe that now the archers are caught. They're going to be cut to pieces. Is it actually... It almost looks like he's disembarked his longbowmen to fight the Wessex archers in melee, though. Very interesting move there. He must be out of ammunition. You just look a little bit lower there. And across. We do have a couple of Huscarls left. Are they fighting anything? Oh, yes, they are. It looks like they are engaged with some Valley-mailed spearmen. So it's a Tier 3 spear unit versus the Tier 3 axemen. And it's tough having the axemen on the ships because they don't get that charge bonus. The Huscarls really, really need that charge bonus to gain the upper hand. The spears can just hold all day long. But a very valiant effort from Wessex indeed. Look at just more Welsh just flooding down. We've got like 1 or 2 units over here that are just holding. But the spears have cornered them at the front of the ship and are just slaughtering them. Oh, yeah. Real tough to see. There we go. You can see the remainder of the ships from Wessex fleeing the battlefield. And if we zoom out here, it looks like these 4 ships are shattered, but we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 units from Gwynedd still left, and those archers are just the last ones to survive, but they are just being mercilessly slaughtered. It all comes down to this. Will the remaining forces of Wessex that defeated the Normans on the field of battle be able to also defeat the remaining forces of the Kingdom of Gwynedd? And you can see that they are already disembarking off of their ships, and they have some really solid units left. They've got the Welsh-mailed spearmen, they've got the Teal Guard, they've got some longbowmen. So this is not over yet. This is going to be a very tough fight for the remaining Wessex forces on the battlefield. And here we go. The heavy warriors, the heavy Welsh warriors disembarking and running up the beaches. One of my most favorite things to see in Thrones of Britannia is the cinematic disembarking of troops from ships onto the beaches. I absolutely love this. But just look at the amount of men that are still left here. And most of them are very heavily armored spear warriors. So this is not over. It's going to be a very tough fight. But I think that the forces of Gwynedd definitely still have a chance here. And most of them are Tier 3 units as well. You can see they're all pushing forwards here. Let's take a look at what I still have left on the battlefield. I don't have too much in the way of my frontline infantry. They were kind of wrecked by the Normans. You can see that a lot of them are down to half strength, but they are still all present. And I do have my militia-feared archers, although I believe all of them have used up their ammunition. But I do have some troops hidden in the trees over here. You can see I've got my Earl Thanes over here. I've got some more Earl Thanes, and Azrian has his one unit of Cyril Spearmen on the battlefield. And then over here on the far side, I do have another unit of Earl Thanes and my general. But my pièce de résistance, my best troops, these are the hopes that I'm going to win the battle. This is where I have to place all of my hope, is my Royal Huscarls and my remaining mailed horseman units, because the Welsh don't have any cavalry left. It's all infantry, and I can exploit that with my cavalry, and hopefully my heavy Huscarls will be able to just tear in to the Tielu Spear Guard and rip them to shreds. Especially his general. His general is down to half strength, so hopefully they will be able to hold, or sorry, hopefully the Huscarls will be able to kill them. Here we go. We've got the longbowmen charging in, and I am counter-charging with my feared archers. Both of us are out of ammunition, so there's really no point in us holding back. And there we go, some of the Earl's Spearmen getting some really good kill animations there on the longbowmen as they push forwards. But the rest of the troops are funneling in here. You can see we've got another unit of longbowmen. What else do we have here? We've got some some Welsh mailed axemen. We've got another unit of them. We've got a lot of Valley mailed spearmen here. We've got the Tielu Guard over here, one of the best spear units in the game. More axemen, and then we've got the general following up behind. And there we go. It looks like we've got the Cyril Spearmen actually pushing forwards to challenge the Axemen in melee. That's very brave of Azrian with his final unit there. But I think he wants some vengeance for what happened on the battlefield against the Welsh. And there we go. I've also got my Earl Thanes pushing in. The Welsh moving forwards there, all engaging. And the battle line has formed. And there we go. Look in the distance. The Wessex cavalry has been activated. Let's actually follow them along the battlefield. Oh, come on. Form up, boys. They did do a lot of heavy fighting against the Norman cavalry, so they are going to be tired. And their morale won't be the best due to the fact that they've sustained so many casualties, but good charge into the backs of the longbowmen. Looks like we did break the longbowmen. Now we're going to turn around, and looks like we're going to charge into the back of some of the Welsh mailed axemen there. Let's go ahead and jump out of that. I picked the one cavalry unit that decided not to charge in. But there we go. And let's turn on the HUD here so we can see. Yeah, there we go. So one of the units has shattered. The Cyril Spearmen surprisingly holding. Another unit has routed. We've got the Welsh mailed axemen here holding strong. And yeah, my front line is starting to look a little soft, but here we go. I'm finally bringing in my Royal Huscarls. This is going to be an epic charge. I want to watch this one for sure. Here we go, boys. Here we go. What? Oh, come on, Wessex. Come on. There we go. That's the charge I was looking for. Nicely done. Completely surrounding them now. And those Valley mailed spearmen are going to be cut down very quickly. Let's jump out of there. And I believe that the general was finally moving forwards, but I sent a unit of Earl's Thanes and was able to actually break the general. And with the break of that general, immediately the rest of the Welsh troops broke as well. A Pyrrhic victory. So let's go ahead and take a look at the end results. Alright guys, so here is the end result. So we'll start with my battle versus Gandalf's here. So you can see that this is my spear line. They did hold and get a decent amount of kills. Also, my flanking Thanes did pretty well. My Huscarls doing excellent. And my archers actually doing not too bad. Typically, I don't really bring archers in Thrones of Britannia because I find them a bit underpowered, but they definitely paid off in this instance because a lot of those kills were on heavily armored Norman knights. And then my cavalry doing absolutely excellent, which is also surprising in Thrones of Britannia. Typically, Cav doesn't get too many kills. This is more what you would expect in the 28 and 44 range. Looking at Gandalf's forces, some of his Norman knights didn't do too bad. But yeah, not many kills on those crossbowmen, and I was able to neutralize the Norman cavalry pretty quickly. But funnily enough, we got the exact same amount of kills with our catapult. However, my kills were on his cavalry, which I believe was one of the reasons that I was able to win the cavalry engagement. Looking at Asrian versus the Red Celt, some of his cheaper Thane units did rather well, 147 kills there. His general doing pretty solid. 227 with this unit. I'm guessing these are the Royal Thanes. And then he actually did pretty well with those Huskarls. Not so well with his archers, though, unfortunately. And looking at the Red Celt's longbowmen, some of them got okay kills, but not too many high kills. I expected more. But yeah, good kills on his spearmen. The Welsh really excel with their spears. Yeah, over 100 kills with almost all of them, and a couple of them getting over 200 kills. There's another spearman unit with 148 kills. His axes all doing fantastic, actually. The Welsh mailed axemen. 280 and 178 being the highest there. So very, very good. But I think two reasons why we won that was the fact that just the Normans didn't get that many kills, so I was healthy enough to be able to withstand the forces of Gwynedd once they did land, because I believe they did have more men than I did when they landed, but I was just able to hit hard, and also the cavalry flanking around them at the end was kind of the nail in the coffin. But also, Asrian Fox holding off the forces of Gwynedd long enough for me to wrap up the Normans was huge. If I had to deal with the forces of Gwynedd hitting my flank, that flank that I was already losing to Gandalf, because Asrian broke too quickly, then it would have been game over. But he held up long enough for me to pretty much kill Gandalf and rout the Normans from the field. And I know that we didn't really show from the cuts, but I routed Gandalf's forces pretty much as the forces of Gwynedd were coming to land. So it was very, very close. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this 3-part battle. I know it was a little bit longer, but I just didn't want to miss much of it. It was only an 18-minute battle, and I feel like if I recorded it all as one part, you would have missed a lot of the land battle, and you would have lost a lot of the naval engagement as well. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one.